Listen, I told y'all that I'm not a cardstock crafter, and this this is the best I can do. And I keep telling y'all that I'm not a cardstock crafter, but hopefully after this you'll believe me. This is this is my shoe. It didn't go well, but I'm doing my very best. The goal really is to help you with putting the files, the pieces together to cut out in Cricut Design Space. So you will probably find that part helpful. When we get to the actual putting it together is where I start to struggle. But anyway, hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. In today's tutorial, I'm working with cardstock and I'm demonstrating my process of making this shoe. I will do my very best to link all of the materials below the video. And if you find it helpful, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials and dive right in to Cricut Design Space. The materials I'm using for this tutorial include my Cricut Maker. You could also use other Cricut cutting machines. It doesn't have to be the Cricut Maker. You could absolutely do this with the Cricut Explorer or even the Cricut Joy. I'm going to be using Scotch Tacky Glue. I'll use paper from this pack that I purchased locally. However, I will leave a link to the one that I found on Amazon that is an update to this one. I'll use my brayer if I need to. Blue light grip Cricut mats. I will also be using the scoring tool. You can use the one like this if you are using your Cricut Maker, or you can use the scoring stylus. Either one will work. I'll use a paintbrush if I need to with help applying the adhesive. The file that I'm using was purchased and downloaded from the SVG Cuts website. Now, without further ado, let's go into Cricut Design Space. I am in Cricut Design Space, and the first thing I'll do is come over here to the left and click on Upload. I'm going to navigate to where I have the files saved on my computer. I created a folder that's just called SVG Cuts, and I'll click on that folder. And there's the folder. It's called High Top Sneaker, and it has two files in it. So there's a folder that has the files, and then there's just the actual image in case you want to keep that open while you're working. I'm going to click on the folder, and I'm clicking in there where it says Extras. And right here, there are options. So there's the option to import the entire high top sneaker SVG or the entire high top sneaker separated SVG. I'm clicking on the one that is not separated, and I'll click right here on open, and I'll bring the file in. I'll click custom, I think it's called customize, and I'll click open. I think it said custom, I'm not sure what the word was. Okay, so when the file comes in, I'm going to bring the view down. The view on my screen right now is at 100%. I'm bringing it down to 50%. I can look at this file and see that there are several things that need to happen before I click make. So I'm not resizing the file in any way at all. I think the size that it is already the size that I want to use, and so I'm not going to make any changes there. However, what I am going to do is come over here to the layers panel, and I can click right here on the arrow, and I can see that this file is made up of a lot of layers, and there are actually layers within the layers. So what I want to do is click on the option to ungroup the layers. So now I can see that this piece of the shoe is one layer. This brown piece is one layer. These are the little rings that go around the laces. And then there are these pieces right here. I'm not going to make any changes to any of those. Where I am going to start to make changes is to these pieces here. So I'm going to bring the view up a little bit, and let's see what this first group is right here. So this first group is this big set of shapes, and I can look and I can see numbers and lines and everything. what I want to do is click on the option right here to open up the arrow a little more, and I'm going to ungroup this set. Now, for the part of the group that includes the score lines, that's these lines right here, I am going to change those from a basic cut to score. So right here at the top where it says Operation Basic Cut, I'm changing mine to score. Okay, so that will score the lines instead of cutting them. This next set that's right here under the score lines, these are numbers I'm going to use my pen to write. So instead of the operation being on basic cut, I'm changing that to pen, and I'll just use a black pen for that, a black Cricut pen. And then for the entire high top, I'm going to keep that exactly where it is, just as a basic cut. But what I'm going to do with this whole little set right here, I'm going to attach it so it all stays together. These numbers will write on the shapes. The score lines will happen on the shapes. I'm going to attach that all back together. Okay. So now I'm going to start to work with this next set. This next set is these pieces right here. I'm going to open it up, and I really don't even have to ungroup this, but let me just show you. So I can click right here, and I can see that these lines are set to basic cut. I'm changing those to score, and then I can just click back on the whole thing and attach it. Okay, I don't need to do anything else. All right, let's see what this next set is. Let's move over. Okay, let's move this out of the way for right now, and let's click back over here. Okay, so now I'm going to click this little arrow, and I can look and I can see that these lines are set to basic cut. I'm changing those to score, and I can make sure that these two layers are attached. And that's it. I'm really good to go. There's nothing else I need to do with this. Now, if I want these holes to cut on the same layer as this, I can just change these to the same color, because it doesn't make sense for this set of holes to be on a separate layer. So what I'll do is just change the color. So I'll click right there on the color option, and I will just make it match these so they can be all on the same mat. And actually this can be on the same mat as those also. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so now I should end up with, I think, 4 mats. I might end up with 5 because this will fit on one mat. That'll be another mat, but I'm good to go. I did not resize anything. And now what I'm going to do is click save, and I'll save this as high top shoe, high top. I'll call it a shoe. She calls it a sneaker in her tutorial. And I'm going to save it, and I will click make. Okay, so all of this will cut on one mat, and so this little shoe will cut on one mat, and really I can just move this over. Let's move this to this mat right here. And if I want it to be a different color, I'll just remember to add a different color. So this will not, they'll be empty. This will cut on one mat. This will cut and score and write on one mat, and then this will be another mat, which is fine. Okay, so I'll click. Let's start with this one first. I'll click continue. And when my material options come up, I'm going to select cardstock for intricate cuts. And right here, it says load tools and materials. So I'm going to load the black pen in clamp A. And then I'm going to use the single scoring wheel in clamp B. And it will let me know when it's time to use each of the materials. Okay, so I will get my mats prepared, and everything I'll do from here will be back on the camera. Okay, let's start with this paper first, and I'm going to load the pen in clamp A. So here is my Cricut pen. I have the cap off and it's on the bottom of the pen. Just load it right here. Wheel, which is 01. Let's see. I'll load that in clamp B. Now that the scoring has finished, I'm going to remove the scoring tool and insert the fine point blade. Zoom in so you can see the numbers. See the numbers. I'll speed this part up. Okay, I'm finished with this cut. That's how it looks. You can see the score lines in there. Okay, so we'll get the next sheet loaded and we'll continue. Once I finish with all the cutting, I will go to an overhead view so we can start gluing and putting it together. I'm going to start with these pieces first. These are the pieces that had the numbers cut out. And what I'm just going to do is make sure I have the numbers in order. So here's 1, 2, 3. This is number 4. These two pieces go inside. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now that I have these, I'm going to start to fold them where the score lines are. That's what I'll do first. I'll speed this part up. Okay, I have all of the score lines folded. Now I'm just following her video and I'm gonna go in order. So here is number 1 and here is number 2. I'm just going to glue these two pieces together like this. And I'm using this glue right here. So let's see. I honestly feel like I'll do better if I just put the glue here instead of trying to add the glue to the cardstock. And if I just use a paintbrush to apply it, that way I can control it a little better. And we will see how this goes. I feel like it's better when you can see it from the inside. Okay, so like that. All right, so I'm going to glue number 2 to number 3. Okay, so now I'm at number 4, and I do feel like this glue is drying pretty fast. So right here, this is the top. What I'm going to do is add glue here and then to these top pieces. So right here, I'm going to add some to this tab right here. And I'll glue number 3 to that. And then I'll add glue to these top tabs. feel like there's something missing right here at the top. Let me say that these two pieces are going to feel strange trying to glue them, but just trust the process. So I'm just going to trust the process. I'm going to add glue here and here and here. This is going to feel really weird, but it's the piece that looks like the left side. So I'm just going to start here. And just line it up to the top. Then I'll bring this up. Then this. And it lines up perfectly. So now I'm just going to do the other side, which just looks like this. I'm going to continue with these. So I'll glue here, then I'll go to number 6. So I'm just gluing the tabs and adding them on. So right here, I'll add glue. Actually, just continue to glue the numbers in order with the numbers that are written on your cardstock. So start with 4, go to 5, and so on and so forth. All right, we're on to the back now. And to me, this one is a little like, it reminds me of the side pieces. But what helps me is when I start gluing from the top. So I'm going to add the glue here at the top. And then I'm just going to make sure the piece fits there. This is number 8. So right here at the top, I'm just lining it up and then holding it in place and then lining it up on the sides right there, and then the flap at the bottom. For me, just when I try to do it from the bottom up, it just doesn't fit right. Okay, so here's this, and we'll see how this all comes together. Here's number 9. Continue again with the numbers in order to fill in the back of the shoe. Okay, so now I'm going to add glue here. So I still have to apply it again to this top part, and then these tabs right here line up. Okay, so I have my shoe and I have the tongue pulled out. With this piece right here, I'm going to make sure that this is the side with the curve up. There's a flap that's back here. I'm just going to add glue and glue that down. So just adding glue to this tab right here. And I'm going to, hold it until it's glued down, just like that. And then, so this essentially is going to fit in here like this. And I'm going to make sure that these holes are not glued to this. So I'm just basically gluing it to the back of this. You can see that I have the front line. Here's the tongue. It's not glued down yet. Okay, as you can see, I have added some more pieces to my table. I have these two pieces that are for the left, these two pieces that are for the right, and this is the center. This is going to go on the center of the tongue. So right here, I'm going to glue this piece down right here in the middle. And then these two pieces, one will go here and one will go here. I'm going to take this piece and go ahead and glue it down. So this right here is the center, and it goes right here in the, right there in the center. That was close. Right there. Going to glue it down right there. And this follows this outline right here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that also. So right here, what I'm doing is just gluing this front piece down, the flap that goes around the bottom of the shoe. So after you finish gluing the front, go ahead and glue the pieces that go on the right. In this case, I'm going to just add glue to the back and glue those pieces down that go on the right and left. Also, finish gluing that piece that goes there in the front. The tongue is still not glued down. It's not attached to the shoe except in the front. Okay, I have the front glued down as well as I can. I might need to add a little bit of glue there, but I won't worry about that right now. What I'm going to do is add this. I think this goes right here like that. So I'll add this over here. Glue the pieces on the left and right. You'll see where they go. They fill into a designated space. So that's all I did there is glue down the left and right. And then those strips that you see on the table right there, those strips will need to be glued to the back. It'll be easy to tell which piece goes where because the thinner pieces go where the space is smaller, and then the wider pieces go where the space is wide. So get those glued down next. I'm not even gonna lie, my shoe is looking really rough, but hopefully it comes out cute. Okay, so now this goes here around the bottom. I'm gonna figure out, okay, it goes like that, like that. Okay, so let me add glue. Ooh-wee. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure these are all folded in. So what I'm doing with the bottom is that I've added glue to some places, and then I just pull the tongue out and I'm pushing the strips down from the inside. So I'm going to add more glue on the tabs, like right here, here. This glue dries really, really fast, which is great, which is really great because I want it to dry fast. And then I just turn it over and push down from the inside. So this part gave me, this was just the hardest part for me, was getting the sole added to the bottom of the shoe. So I did the best I could. This piece here goes on the inside. So what I did, I added a little bit more glue as I needed to get that piece secured to the bottom. And then when it was time to add that piece on the inside, I added glue and I just stuck it down there in the bottom of the shoe. And I pushed it down with my Cricut spatula. So I just applied I would say a good amount of glue to the back of that. And then I just stuck it down there in the shoe. Because I do so much shopping, I have a ton of random stuff that isn't even made anymore. This is Cricut Glitter Tape. And I just use this to add around the bottom of my shoe. And I also put a little bit around the edge of this rope here. And I use that to help me get the laces started going through the shoe. I didn't record this whole process because trust me, you would have been over it at this point. Now we're at the end. So if you were able to get as far as you could with my process and it didn't help you, there's also a video on the SVG Cuts website of her demonstrating how, the person who created the file, she demonstrates how to put the shoe together. This was just me doing it my way, but I'm sure her way will be much more helpful for you. If you did find this helpful or funny, or it didn't, gave you the courage to try cardstock or made you hate cardstock anyway, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.